All right, good morning, everyone, board members, superintendent. Hope you all are well. We come together as labor partners, representing tens of thousands of workers inside and outside the classroom to sound the alarm of a troubling trend in LAUSD. SAU Local 99, United Teachers Los Angeles, Teamsters Local 572, Associated Administrators of Los Angeles, and California School Employees Association, Chapter 500, stand united to demand that you stop the outsourcing of vital student services. From special education services to after-school programs, and most recently, the warehousing and delivery of basic school supplies. LAUSD has been increasingly hiring outside private companies to work in our public schools. The consequences are serious on many levels. First of all, the safety of students and staff, and the entire school community. There is no substitute for district employees that receive constant training, that are background checked, and that are dedicated education workers. You cannot substitute them with outside subcontracted privatized companies. In the most recent example of this, the district has drastically reduced its inventory of basic supplies. Schools are being told to order paper, pens, pencils, and other supplies from Amazon. Deliveries are being made in our schools by Amazon workers without district background checks or required trainings. Not to mention that there is no oversight over the safety and quality of the items being delivered, or the impact that this has on our environment and air quality in our communities. A recent report shows Amazon's delivery van and truck carbon dioxide emissions have escalated over the last 5 years. All of this is counter to LAUSD's commitments to the greening of our schools and climate justice. And as labor partners, yes, we must talk about what this means for good jobs in our communities. This board has expressed a commitment to addressing the housing crisis in Los Angeles by expanding affordable housing for LAUSD workers. That is a noble endeavor. In fact, some SAU Local 99 members currently live in LAUSD affordable housing units. But we know that to truly address the crisis at its core and make a lasting impact, LAUSD must be a responsible employer, especially given that LAUSD is the second largest employer in the county. When you hire low-wage, anti-worker companies like Amazon to replace good union jobs, you do nothing to address poverty and homelessness in our city. And the worst part is that LAUSD has created this crisis. By starving our schools of funds, you have opened the doors to rampant outsourcing. But outsourcing to the lowest bidder comes at a great cost to the safety and well-being of our schools, our students, and communities. We must not give up the health and safety of our students to outside companies. We must not give up the livelihoods of dedicated education workers to low-bid companies. We must not give up our public schools to corporations focused on profits over education. We demand you stop outsourcing now. Thank you.
Good morning, Superintendent and board members. My name is Adriana Salazar Avila. I am president of Teamsters Local 572. I'd like to read you something. Whereas the district's General Stores Distribution Center provides one-stop shopping for a wide variety of schools and office supplies, equipment, and other items with an average savings of 25% over outside vendors. Whereas these items are delivered by district employees at no cost to schools and offices. Whereas services and products provided by the district can be obtained at significantly lower costs than through outside vendors. Whereas, if any item or service can be purchased at a lower cost through an outside vendor, procurement services will pursue a master contract with such vendors in order to allow all schools and offices to take advantage of such savings through economy of scale purchasing. And whereas consumption of district-produced goods and services saves the district money and therefore the taxpayers of the state of California. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the superintendent be directed to develop an online directory of services and products available within the LAUSD, make their use and purchase easily obtainable, and strongly encourage every school and office to use and/or buy district products and services whenever possible. And be it finally resolved further that schools and offices will take advantage of better value master contracts providing the same goods and services. This is from the Buy and Use LAUSD First Board Resolution from November of 2012. You've already adopted this resolution. This resolution recognizes that there are many products and services provided from within the district that can be obtained at significantly lower costs than through outside vendors. The Office of Inspector General Audit, the procurement of common goods and school sites, it's a 30-page turner, dated November 26, 2013, determined that schools and offices can save 20 to 40% by purchasing selected items from the general stores. As a result, schools and offices are required to purchase their daily supplies and materials from the general stores rather than outside retail vendors. The audit also charts a price comparison, and this is 2013, for 20 top-selling items. And at the time, the price difference for each one was an average increase of 36%. And even 10 years ago, Amazon was leading the charts with their average cost being over 50 to 60% for the top-selling items. Today, that gap has gotten wider. This is what has been done up until recently. Now, the schools are not able to buy from the general store's warehouse because they have reduced their inventory by more than 70%. They say it's because these goods are no longer needed or they're too expensive from the general stores and they can buy it outside. Schools can buy it outside for less money. But this resolution says procurement has a responsibility to go and try and get those master contracts to provide those services and goods to schools and offices for less money. That's what this resolution says. They didn't replace the items, they eliminated the goods and called it a cost savings. When the average school is paying 25 to 50% more for goods from outside vendors, I fail to see how this is a cost savings. From time to time, people join the district and they characterize current employees as dinosaurs or obstructionists. They say that the unions are irrelevant and unnecessary. But they are not. We are not. We have the institutional knowledge. We have fought this fight before. We have seen change being made just for the sake of changing. We know what has happened in the past and the steps it took to correct those mistakes. We have seen the district through layoffs and rehiring, and ultimately we want what everyone else wants. We want schools and offices to have the funds to focus on school services. We want schools to have colored construction paper and glue sticks for art projects. We want offices to have copy paper to function. We want teachers and staff to have the tools they need to get their job done. We want our members, your employees, to go to work feeling valued and without fear that their administrators are trying to get rid of them and contracting out their work to the likes of anti-union companies like Amazon. I close with this. You have the Buy and Use LAUSD First Board Resolution, an OIG audit, and a district memo, all saying the same thing. Schools must buy from LAUSD first. But what we need is for you to ensure that the goods they need to buy are in the warehouse for them to purchase. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Juan Alberto Flecha. I'm the Chief of Staff for the Associated Administrators of Los Angeles, and I'm proudly representing Maria Nichols, President, who wants to be here. However, she has earned a vacation with her family, and so she brings her greetings as well. I know, and we all know, that shift happens and that change is difficult, and we're asking to be a part of the conversation to bridge the gap. And I do want to tell you, in addition to what my two colleagues said that is really factual and very technical, that there's something really important about continuing the culture and climate of the Los Angeles Unified School District. I stand here as a proud graduate of John C. Fremont High School from the class of 1983. And I was also a student at Parmelia Avenue. And I can remember the joy in third grade when Ms. Walls, and many of you will remember this, gave me for the first time that little tiny blue calculator that many of us will remember, and that opened up a whole different world for me. And I think we are talking about concrete, we are talking about supplies, and we're also talking about the memories and the nostalgia that these type of materials brought to us as students. I thank you for your time and your consideration.